it's closer to yours, but...
I feel like it's closer to you.
Okay, then that's fine. It's probably in the middle.
Yeah. Welcome to Defenders of Zion. My name is Addison.
And I'm Kayla.
And we forgot our intro. But we just wanted to give an update today.
Yeah.
As it's been quite a long time since we've been to the channel.
2 months?
Yeah, I think it's been 2 months.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a full month.
No, it's longer, I think. I think it's
a
December.
month since the last upload.
No, it's December.
Really?
It was the end of December.
Okay, I must have been looking at it
2
wrong.
months. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Because we were in the midst of Jess not sleeping, and it's been a long time.
Yeah. Our last one was about New Year's resolutions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I guess we took a big break, and then we did that one.
Yeah.
So it's probably been... No, I still think it's been over a month. But...
yeah, I'm just going off of YouTube saying 1 month ago this video was, but that's not always accurate.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we are... life has been so busy.
We're here.
It's been crazy. We're back. I don't know what you want to talk about if you had anything in particular, but
how's your day going?
It's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
Actually, yeah.
Good.
What about yours?
Good. Yeah,
good.
Day's going well. All right, well, that was it.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Man.
You just give a general update of life. So, like, Indy is growing and talking and somersaulting and headstanding and all that fun stuff. And Jess is crawling and pulling to stand.
Yeah.
And if you hear noise in the background, that is Indy, who should be napping right now.
But he's trying to break out of his room.
He can break out of his room. And he's been skipping naps. So that's also an update.
Yeah.
And Jess is finally sleeping better. Indy's...
I'm not sure if it'll come over the mic.
Yeah,
but...
Indy has been... He was a solid sleeper for over a year.
Yeah.
But... He's been going through a rough patch, I think, just because we've been getting so sick, and that's the other update is we've had
we've had a stomach bug, we've had
a cold, we had
coronavirus,
I guess COVID in November, so it's just been like thing after thing, and so we're finally healthy. Who knows for how long?
Yeah,
I think it's just because like the place can be drafty, a new environment, and whenever you move or travel or anything, there's a high chance of getting sick.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of environmental changes and...
global warming.
Yeah. So we've just been
trying to... Give an update on yourself.
Get through. My YouTube channel is doing pretty well. It's going to hit 2,000 subscribers in the next week.
Yeah.
So
you've been pretty consistent with it too.
Yeah. So if you haven't been...
For like the 3 people who are actually subscribed, if you aren't subscribed to Addison, go subscribe.
But most of you are.
Yes, yeah. Because it's like myself and you, and then Deshaun's one of them.
Yeah.
And he's subscribed.
Yes.
And so that's like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Man,
Talk about your speed reading.
Okay. Yeah, I've been speed reading actually. It's something that I've wanted to do my whole life. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now are stuff that I wanted to do for my whole life.
How did you hear about it initially?
So I heard about it. So there was a kid in high school who could read a page in 2 seconds. And this is
Have
like...
you told me about them?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe. But anyway, you'll learn about it.
Yeah,
So
okay.
You pull out a huge book, maybe 500 pages, and he looks at each page 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, and he's just flipping through. And then at the end of like a chapter, 2 chapters, 3 chapters, he could literally tell you everything that transpired.
Yeah.
But he was also the type where he could tell you what happened on what page.
Wow. That's like almost photographic.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
He seriously could read that quickly. So I thought, is there any way that I could do that?
Yeah.
And so I started to look into speed reading and found out that there's a whole community of people who they have competitions, they have other stuff.
Oh my word, I didn't know it was like that.
This is like a high-minded society thing though. It's like an elite social.
Wow.
You have your schools
it's like
and their special
the jocks
groups.
of the nerds.
Yeah, of the intellect side.
You
not saying jocks aren't intellects because they need to have good grades
I said the
too.
jocks of the nerds.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, I learned about that, and
it's been like a goal of yours ever since.
It's been a goal of mine, so I've been doing it on my own. I've just been reading fast and trying to learn how to recognize words in groups and then in bigger groups, and I came up with a system myself, but now I bought a course. Mm-hmm. I convinced Kayla that it was absolutely important and necessary and
worth the business expense.
Worth the business expense. And then I just really have picked up my reading pace in the past week. I think I've doubled it just from the course. And so it's been really amazing.
Well, and that quickly too.
Yeah, and that quickly. And also it's helping a lot with retention because not only does the course talk about retention, speed reading, it also talks about memory and vocabulary and just a whole lot of things that fit together so that, you have all the working parts.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That's something that I've been doing. And yeah, it's been amazing. But what have you been doing?
I feel like a lot of what I've been doing is I don't like to say surviving because I feel like the whole, when you're mom and you're just surviving thing is kind of dramatic. And I don't use this word lightly, but privileged in the sense I don't feel like people who are in a good position in life are privileged. Like someone who has worked hard and like earned their wealth or their education or that kind of thing is privileged. That's not privilege in my opinion. That is, they got that. They earned that. Anyway, my point is, I feel like a lot of moms who, have a kid or two and talk about how crazy it is and how, they're just surviving is privilege just because if you look at other communities, like I always refer back to, like Peru or Ghana or that kind of thing because that's what we're experienced in. But, those communities, you have multiple children and the moms work all day long.
Yeah.
And they take care of the children all day long.
Right.
And they don't complain and they don't ask for breaks and they don't say, oh my gosh, I need self-care and all this stuff. So anyway, my point is,
it's very different.
Yeah, I don't love using that phrase. And so I actually have been, I'd say what I've been working on for the past like month or two has been changing my mindset on that stuff and saying, if I'm looking at it as surviving, that's going to mess with the audio.
I'll fix it.
Okay. If I look at it as I am only surviving and I'm just trying to get through, that I am not thriving and my kids won't thrive and I'm not, living the best life that I could or giving them the best life that I could be.
Okay.
And so I've been really working on trying to look at it differently and enjoy my kids and enjoy my days and find ways to feel fulfilled and satisfied.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say like I've been working on it, but more mentally, not as much practically yet because, we've been sick and trying to get Jess on a sleep schedule and that kind of thing. But
yeah.
I'm mentally like gearing up, I guess, for Addison. Our plan is to go to bed at like 7:30 right after the kids go to bed and wake up at like between 3 and 4, start our days then. And then because I wake up to feed Jess at 3 anyway and I'm awake. So for me to go back to sleep just to be interrupted an hour or two when one of the kids wakes up or if it's been a rough morning or something like that, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Makes me more frustrated. And so I'm like, well, I should just stay awake once I wake her up.
Right.
But obviously it's important to get enough sleep. And so I have done this once or twice recently. Well, I'd actually say it's maybe been like 2 or 3 times where I stay awake. I think one morning I was awake from like 2:30 on. And but typically it's like 4 or 3 or something like that. And then start my day and do the stuff that I would typically do at night or even throughout the day in the mornings, like cleaning, exercising, reading, anything like that, because I find that evenings are very wasteful. Once the kids go to bed, I'm just on YouTube. I'm lounging around. I'm not actually doing anything. I'm not actually being productive, and there's no point. So I should just go to bed. And so the mornings that I have gotten up early have been fantastic. I haven't gotten up early and gone to the gym yet, because the hard thing with that is it's like a 20-minute drive. The kids tend to have rough mornings. And so I feel like it'd be difficult for me to leave, get all the time that I would like, and come back and still have time for like a shower or reading or anything like that. So I'm trying to figure out when to fit that in. And honestly, the answer might just be to not go to the gym. But I am very much a gym person. Like I love...
Right, as opposed to working out
As opposed to working out at home. Yeah. I have a program for working out at home. Like I can. I just really don't prefer it. I love going on a treadmill and like seeing all my stats. I love just even the smell of the gym. Which
really?
I know it's kind of nasty.
Interesting.
But it's just like it gets me in that mindset. It's like smells trigger people. And so like, you know, that's why you're supposed to use like a specific lotion for the kids every single night. When you put them to bed, that's why, you know, certain perfumes can be tied to events.
I mean, that makes sense. I know when you're put into a certain environment, you want to do different things. And so colors, sound, smells.
Right. Yeah. Routines, like if you're doing the same thing physically.
Just the environment itself, yeah.
Yeah, so that's been what I have been focusing on is just how to make my days better, how to make them more streamlined in a good way, and to be able to feel like I'm doing something with my life. Because I feel like a lot of moms can get into this rut of like, I change diapers, I feed kids, I put them down for naps, and I clean the house. You know, there's not much else. And so I definitely am trying to figure out how to feel like I'm progressing as my own person at the same time.
Well, I think a lot for you is that you need to feel like you're learning something new.
Yes, absolutely. And so I've been working on reading. My goal this year, like New Year's resolution, was to read 1 book a month. And I have January... Oh, I'm trying to remember what book I read. They've been like 100 pages.
I've read a ton of books.
With big words.
I've read If You Give a Moose a Muffin. I've read
All the World.
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round.
Dr.
Those are
Seuss.
books. Those are books.
Yeah.
They're not just like, Yes. I guess I've probably read like 200 books by now.
Yeah. Easy.
Yes. Although he's going through a phase where he doesn't like reading, except for when it's bedtime.
Right.
But no. My point is, I have read a book every month, but there have been very much what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
Yeah, I guess, but it's a different phrase. Anyway, it's been the bare minimum. I've just been doing the bare minimum, but this month I actually started early, because typically I don't start reading until like the last week.
Oh, okay.
Because I just put it off. So this month I have started early. I'm already, I think, on like the 3rd chapter of this book.
Nice.
And it's a pretty meaty one. But I just am doing a little bit a day. I'm even like, I have a page where I write out the words I don't know and like look it up, and like my vocabulary page, which I don't think I've ever done in my life.
What made you feel like you needed to do that, and what inspired you to do it in the way that you're doing it? Like to write out the vocabulary words, to have it on your phone and repeat it.
I think I'm just realizing that if I am actually going to learn anything, I have to.
You have to teach.
Learn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different being your own teacher.
Yeah, and like, even when I was in high school or college or anything like that, I wouldn't learn. I would, and this is absolutely a window into who I am, but I would spend the first week or two of class saying, what is the teacher looking for? How can I get a good grade doing the least amount of work? And how can I it's essentially like, this is how much work they say I need to do, but what can I get away with and still get an A?
Interesting.
And I would, like, I'd still get fantastic grades, but I wouldn't learn anything.
Right.
And so I would, because I'm such a good test taker, and because whatever I listen or like hear, I'm able to memorize for a period of time, I could go to the lectures and hear and then do the homework and take the tests and get great grades, but I wouldn't actually like internalize it so that I could, at this point call up facts. But I also, if I was reading a book and I had a vocabulary word I didn't know, I'd either try and use context clues to figure out the gist of it, or I would just skip over it and say, well, it's probably not that important. So I never actually learned, a lot of vocabulary.
Gotcha.
I also would choose to not read books that were harder than my level because I wouldn't want to push myself.
Interesting.
And so a lot of it is laziness stemmed from the fact that I naturally do really well in school. And so I didn't want to push myself. So now I'm in the stage of life where I'm realizing that has kicked me in the pants for the past few years.
Yeah.
Well, few years, my lifetime. And I really do want to learn. And so I'm starting with one book now. I want to go to the library and get books on history because...
Is the library open?
I think you can do it's almost... It'd be like if you order something and you go pick it up and they
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I know they do ebooks.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't like ebooks.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't like reading on phones.
Yeah.
But apparently I really like history. And so I want to read more about history and learn more about that. I also want to do more math, which sounds so silly.
Why do you want to do more math?
Because math was, again, I'm naturally really good at math. I slept through my trig and pre-calc class and got a 98 in the class.
Sounds great.
Yeah. And so the fact that it just feels really, it's fun. It's so much fun. It'd be like doing a really, it's not even an easy puzzle because I do have to work and I do have to remember things and piece it all together. But it'd be like doing a puzzle. It'd be like if you're a puzzle master and you do a puzzle anyway. And it's still a puzzle. I know. It's still a puzzle, so inherently it's still exercising the mind or exercising those skills.
Okay.
But if you're really good at it, it's just really fun. And you feel like that click over and over of got it. Figured it out.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
When you're solving a math problem and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know what this is. This is so hard. And then suddenly it clicks and you're like, oh, okay. Easy.
I don't get the same emotion around it because from what I'm getting, it's like you feel proud.
Oh yeah, but it'd be like when we were doing that fake IQ test,
right?
And when you're like, I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what this is. I'm completely stumped. And then suddenly it'd click and you'd see the pattern, and you're like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, I don't
really
feel the same. I don't think
you don't get that click, and you're like, fantastic.
No, I don't.
So what do you do when you figure it out?
I'm like, finally, I got to it.
You don't feel like the positive emotion that comes with it?
It depends. I don't know.
On?
maybe I do that.
And you just don't realize
it's coming across different from you.
Yeah, no, it's really fun for me. It'd be like if someone were to sit down and do puzzles just for fun.
Yeah.
That'd be like doing math for me. And I hate puzzles. And so I wouldn't just sit down and do a puzzle. Although I have thought about doing it because I hate it and because it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes a lot of the times you have to take yourself out of the... Whoa, when?
I think it was last night.
No way.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you.
For those of you who don't know, I take cold showers.
Wim Hof, right?
Wim Hof,
Wim Hof method.
Uh-huh. I take cold showers. It's really rejuvenating for me. I really enjoy it.
He does the crazy breathing too. So when he first did the cold showers, I would be asleep because he'd still get up at 4 and I would be sleeping in until the kids wake up. And I'd hear...
Not like that.
I mean, it was pretty dramatic. And so I'd hear it from the other room and I'm like, okay, he's taking a shower. It would wake me up with the shower running.
That's crazy.
It was loud enough to wake me up.
Yeah.
He'd be like... Anyway.
Crazy.
Anyway, So he's been trying to get me on the cold shower train for a long time. And I actually, for one of my monthly goals this year, one of them is to take cold showers, which
by November.
Is terrifying.
November.
Yeah.
I have that memorized.
Yeah. But anyway, last night I was like, I needed to take a quick shower because I had a event that I was going to, I said a quick, right? Quick
Yes.
shower. Yeah, okay. I thought I said cold. Anyway, I needed to take a cold shower, and I didn't want to mess because we have the dial system where like one hot, one cold, and they are impossible to get like the sweet spot.
You can never get a solid
No,
temperature.
and once it hits the right one, then it suddenly like jumps too cold or too hot, and you're like, ugh, this is so dumb. So I was like, I don't have the time. I don't care. And it wasn't frigid, but it was definitely cold. Like I definitely didn't want to get in it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being fine. Like it wasn't. I didn't die, even though your body tells you you're going to.
Well, that's part of it as well as it's about facing your fears. It's about facing.
I don't think fears as much as being uncomfortable.
You think you're gonna die?
Being uncomfortable.
Okay.
Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, for some people, it's a fear. It's like because your brain tells you that you're gonna die.
Yeah.
That's
when it's
why
frigid,
you said
yeah.
I didn't die.
Yeah.
You know, your brain tells you you're going to die. Then you're like, well, no, I'm just going to be uncomfortable for a little bit, but I need to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And then you go in and, it changes over time, though. And so at some point, I'm at the point where I know it's going to be cold, but that's great. That's great. It kind of switches things up in the day. I don't know. Plus, it's a good wake up. But anyway.
We're yawning like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed up so late. It was like 10.
Yeah, so we've been trying to go to bed earlier.
Yeah, I was
past
saying
week.
that. I think it was the past week that we've been really good.
Yeah.
When we had COVID, I was to bed early like every single night.
Yeah.
And it was great, but then we get out of the habit of it. I was exercising at night, or like that'd be the only time that I thought I could relax because I would like sleep into the kids wake up. And so once I woke up, it was go, 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 go until nighttime. Yeah. And so we're trying to switch it so that the relax and the prepare time is in the morning. But anyway, so math and reading and just trying to really learn. I want to do languages too. My mom speaks Hebrew. I have Jewish ancestors, and so I want to learn that for the purpose of like keeping that alive. Yeah. And also being able to better understand that history and the Bible and that kind of thing. Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's another. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we're talking about working on, but it's just baby steps. For me, even more so because I feel like I haven't, gosh, when was the last time I felt like I actually pushed myself? Maybe, I mean, you might hear the kids screaming outside because we left our window open. I feel like maybe the last semester of high school, but even then I remember specifically, the last semester of high school, the only time I ever got B's was that semester because I chose one of them. Actually, in my opinion, was a cheap shot from a teacher. He failed my paper, which is a fantastic paper, but it was because my and I might have just missed this, but in high school and in my college classes up until that point, they didn't need like peer-reviewed sources. They didn't need like legitimate sources, and maybe they said that would be best, but I don't think they ever deemed you on that. Or they did, but they didn't fail your paper. But this professor did. He failed my paper because I didn't have peer-reviewed sources or like books or that kind of thing.
Interesting.
And it was like you turn in the paper, he edited it and said he'd fix these and then turn it in again to get a better grade. And he failed it the first time. And I don't believe he told me that the sources needed to be peer-reviewed. And so then when I turned it back in, he failed it again because I didn't realize. And I probably missed it on the rubric. Yeah. But the other one was my teacher was like, oh, you need to change your thesis, like this doesn't fit the probably the rubric as well. But she said, and I remember this specifically, she said you can change your thesis and just turn it right back in. And so I changed my thesis, and then I was like, wait, this is a completely different idea, I should write a completely different paper. But I was like, no, that's fine. She said it'd be fine, it's fine. So I was lazy and got a I think that one I also got a failed paper, and so then it brought my grade down to a B.
Interesting.
But my point is, I couldn't tell you the last time I actually pushed myself academically because, like I said, it just comes so easily. Like, I never really had to learn and study and push. And so I'm in the stage of life now where because of that, I feel like I don't really know much. I don't really have... Baby's awake. I don't really have a good hold on things.
Right.
And so I want to finally push myself, finally feel like I'm learning. And so that's my goal. And like what I'm focusing on right now is like the reading, the vocabulary, looking up words, really trying to soak it up and retain it and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I know my goal is to feel like I'm learning as well, to feel like I'm actually pushing myself.
Progressing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not something I did in school much as well.
But yours was more just lack of effort all around. Like you just didn't want to put in work.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't important to me.
Like you learned it pretty easily as well, but you just didn't even care to...
I didn't do the homework.
Yeah.
Or I would do the homework and I wouldn't turn it in.
Which is the wildest thing to me, but my brothers were like that too. You want to go grab her real quick?
Okay.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, my point was that I didn't like to do the work, but I would find the bare minimum I could do to still get a good grade, whereas Addison was like, well, I don't want to do the work, so I'm just not going to do the work. So, it was a little bit different. He is grabbing the baby right now because she's woken up. We're doing this during the kids' nap time because nights are off because we want to be sleeping. And we've talked about doing it in the mornings, but mornings are Addison's work time, his prepare time. And so I don't know if we'll do it in the morning. Maybe on like Thursday, we could do Thursday morning because Thursday's one of Addison's days off. Hi, beautiful. Are you happy? Yeah. Oh, another thing that I'm trying to learn is I'm going to be changing our oil on our car.
Yep.
This week. Uh-oh, do you have the binky?
Yeah.
My dad's a mechanic, so I should know how to do this. I should have been doing this for years, but I just never learned. And so I was finally like, all right, our oil needs to be changed. I don't want to pay someone because I know it'll be, cheap. It's and in the sense that like, if you buy the oil and the oil filter, it's like $26. Almost exact. Well, I think it might be like $27 with tax.
Yeah.
And so like if you get like the filter wrench and the oil catch and a funnel and like that kind of thing, then you'll probably break even the first time where you'll spend as much as an oil change costs. Right. But then the next time you'll save money and the next time you save money and the next time you save money. And so I was like, I should just learn how to do this and we can save money. And my time, like my dad was saying, my time is more valuable than me doing it myself. And so he doesn't change oil anymore, but I'm like, my time is not more valuable. And so he's like, you've got a point. Go ahead and change your oil. So that's something I'll be doing this week.
Okay.
But anyway, I think that's pretty much, that's it.
Yeah.
Our kids are happy and healthy.
Yep. They're doing well, thankfully.
Yeah. Lord's blessing us.
Yep.
That'd be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. So we just wanted to get on update.
I think more this podcast this episode is more of get back into it. Yeah. And it was just kind of like, all right, we need to get it done. We didn't have time to prepare. We have topics that we want to do, and we didn't have time to like put together the scriptures and that kind of thing. And so we're just like, well, we just need to do something. Yeah. Take advantage of it, jump back in.
Right.
So.
Yep.
That's what this one is.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in. We will, I don't know when we'll upload the next one.
This one?
The next one.
Will
it just be on Sundays like
usual?
I
think Sundays at 10.
Okay. Expect another one Sunday at 10. Yeah.
Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
All right. Cut the check.